Èmi ò rí sẹ́ẹ̀dì bí ìtàn tún ṣe irúṣẹ́ tó dàbí eléyìí o, ẹ jẹ́ pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wa jù. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà tó wà ń kalẹ̀ tí bá ní kí n máa dárúkọ ilé aṣú ilé amọ́, but àwọn kan wà tí mo láti kí pàápàá jùlọ màmá wa olóyè Abíọ́dún Duro Ladiipo, ẹ jẹ́ bá mi kí wọn. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà tó wà ń kalẹ̀ kẹ́ mo ṣe sọ, mo dúró lórí ìkíni tá a ti fi síwájú ètò yìí torí a fi gbogbo ara ní àkókò tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Nǹkan tí mo á sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ni ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Duro Ladiipo. Ká ní bàbá Duro Ladiipo níbo ọmọ bo ni níbo láti bí kí làwọn nǹkan tó ti gbé ṣe ilé ayé. A bí bàbá Duro Ladiipo ní December 18, 1926. Wọ́n papòdà ní March 11, 1978 ni wọ́n papòdà. Kó tó di pé wọ́n ti gbé ní Kaduna. Nígbà tó wà ní Kaduna olùkọ́ni ni wọ́n. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti Kaduna padà sí Òṣogbo. Wọ́n darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn ẹbí wọn. Alàgbà tó sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú ẹ jẹ́ bá mi ṣe àwọn látẹ̀wọ́. Wọ́n ti sọ àwọn nǹkan tó ṣe kókó tí mi tún fẹ́ máa tún padà sí. Bọ̀ kókó jùlọ ni pé ìgbà tí wọ́n dé, wọ́n dá ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó ń kọrin nínú church torí bàbá wọn pásítọ̀ ni wọ́n pè ní kátàtà. So kátàtà àti bẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa fi ẹ̀bùn tí wọ́n ní tọ́lọ́run fi sínú wọn hàn. Ìyẹn ni olùbáyà rí pé ló nílùú ẹ̀bùn báyìí bọ̀ tó fi yin àwọn ẹ̀sìn àjòjì. Lẹ́yìn bá fi ẹ̀bùn yìí yin ẹ̀sìn tiwa ń bí. Ó dà pé agofa o gẹ́gẹ́ bá àwọn wa ṣe sọ these days. So ìyẹn ló fa tí ó fi fa olóyè Duro Ladiipo wọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe culture. Then bàbá wọn of course wọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ṣe sọ olóyè Duro Ladiipo tẹ̀lé Chief Ulibaya. Mo láì bí alàgbà somebody I can't think of. He was the publisher of animal books. He said one thing. He said Ulibaya was that German educator who had fire in his eyes. To burn whatever it is, he can lay his eyes upon. So the fire in his eyes, he was able to use to burn out the talent in Baba Duro Ladiipo. And that began right around 1959, thereabout, to early 60, when they had Umbari Club here in Ibadan. Baba Duro Ladiipo had already had his group, and the group was in a place that they call the high bar, you know. But so the likes of 277, who is from Ibadan here, Jimoh Brahima, Gbẹ́bọ́lá Jàṣóògùn, Baba Isi, Yí Àkàràògùn, Yínká Adéyẹmí, Jimoh Brahima, Jacob Afolabi, Rufus Ogundele. They were all members of this group of dramatists that Baba Duro Ladiipo was running. Fast forward to 1964. The group started like around 61, 62. But when they met Chief Ulibaya, they had the opportunity of traveling to overseas, taking Obakoso the play overseas to the Commonwealth Festival in 1964. having met with Chief Ulibaya. Now, come back again to 1961. There was a program here in Ibadan at area Dugbe Alawo called Umbari Club. Umbari Club had the likes of Wole Soyinka, Tinu Achebe, Christopher Okigbo, Jide Solanke, Tunde Elano, and Chief Ladiipo with Chief Ulibaya in that group. And that was the formation of the contemporary Nigerian art today. Don't get me wrong. There was ABU, there was University of Ife, there was University of Nigeria, Nzuka, teaching art. But the first contemporary Nigerian art that we will call Nigeria indigenous art started here in Ibadan. Please clap for that. As a result of this Umbari Club. What is the meaning of Umbari? Umbari is a Igbo word, which means beginning, which means creation. So these people, the likes of Wole Soyinka and so on and so forth, they gather together to form a literary group, to form an artistic group, to form musical group that became the contemporary art of Nigeria till today. So, Baba Ladiipo took the word Umbari, which is an Igbo word, and went back to Osogbo and now Yorubalize it. Umbari, Umbayo. That's where the word Umbari came from. Umbari, Umbayo. Because of the creativity in him, he was able to bring something new out of it, of which the Umbari Umbayo is still there in Osogbo today. It's in the family of the Ladiipos. If you go there, you will see Umbari there. So it was in this place that all these young dramatists discovered themselves as visual artists. And with that group again, with Ladiipo, Chief Ulibaya had that interaction with several Yoruba Obas. The Oba of Ede at that time, the Oba of Osogbo. You will hear ex-governor Olakunso Yoyidola claiming that he knew Ulibaya because Ulibaya was a very close friend of his father as a king. So, and that's part of what informed, the Center for Yoruba Black Studies in Osogbo, that our friend who just passed a little while ago was the head of that Center for Black Studies and African Culture. It's in Osogbo there. That all the pictures, all the documents that they use at Umbayo in the possession of Ulibaya, they bought everything. And it's in that, if you want to learn more about who Ladiipo is and what did he do, what and what did he represent, go to that place in Osogbo. It's inside the Osun State Secretariat. You will have a lot to read about Chief Ladiipo and of course Chief Ulibaya. Olakunso Yoyidola happened to be the one who, one of the initiators. I was at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. when the director called me that, Tunde, where are you? I said, I'm in New York. And I just finished at the Smithsonian consulting for them. He said, can you please come back? Because the governor of your state is coming, I'm from Osun State, is coming, and part of what he's coming to do is to come and talk about these black studies in Osogbo. So I came back to Washington, D.C. to meet Governor Olakunso Yoyidola, who had come to canvass for how the Smithsonian can set up like a modern library for them. And thank God I was there that day to be able to. And the Smithsonian gave him a dictionary, your first Yoruba dictionary that was published in 1786. All of you should ask Baba Olabisi Yoyelola, where is the dictionary? First Yoruba dictionary. I was there when it was presented to him. But what am I trying to bring out of that? It was this same Smithsonian that the Ooni of Ife, Kábíyèsí Ọba Ògúnwùsì, came to the Smithsonian. I was to host him the previous week, but he didn't show up because of some confusion in the planning. So later, he now came after I had already left. When they entered into the compound of the Smithsonian, there is a Shango who follows him. Have you ever seen the Shango who follows the Shango of Africa? The guy came in and fire just went boom. The whole place was in serious pandemonium. They've never seen anything like that. They started calling fire brigade, to come and rescue the fire, not knowing that this is Shango doing his thing. Also, I want to share another one. I was at the New Orleans Jazz Festival in Louisiana some 30 years ago. For the beginning of the festival, every year, they will bring some traditional Yoruba worshippers to come and do the opening ceremony for the Jazz Festival in New Orleans, where the likes of Louis Armstrong and a host of others like that, perform. King Sunny Ade, Jimmy Cliff, I've seen all of those guys at that festival. So when we came, me and my manager, we were standing, and they brought these people from Brazil to come and be the one who would do the blessing for the day. And they were there chanting Shango. So I told my manager, I said, this is my father they are chanting, but they're not doing it the way they should do. He said, what do you want to do? I'm going on stage and grab the mic from them. Before you know it, I was on stage, grab the mic from the other there. All of them went there on their faces. That's my father. That's my father. That's my father. So we are the one who don't know our own father. Everybody, by the time I was coming down from the stage, look how many people were on the floor prostrating for me. Baba, can I have your number? Baba, if I were to be a Babalawo, I would have eaten. So it was part of what Baba Ladiipo had done. Men these days plait their hair. Have you? In normal Yoruba culture, it is women who plait their hair, right? But Baba Ladiipo went all over the world, including Hollywood in California, where the likes of Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, all of those saw this beautiful hair plaiting on Baba's head, and they, this is cool. So that's how hair plaiting began. That's the genesis of hair plaiting. It's not a multi-billion-dollar project, but his wife, is he getting reparation for that? The same thing, went to Hollywood to go and dance. The likes of Michael Jackson got break dance from Bata. I get bold to say that. It is from Bata that Michael Jackson took his break dance. But today, everybody breaks. They break in Japan, in America, everywhere. Is Ladiipo getting reparation for that? And then you go to, I was with Mama yesterday. you go to Bodewasiri, all of us here, big shame to us. You go to Bodewasiri and you say, yeah, ṣé Ladiipo tó ń yẹn, ṣé tó gbélé. When if you go to Europe to see Shakespeare, where Shakespeare was born and what was done after Shakespeare, what was done after Charles Dickens, what was done after all those writers, you will be marveled. Like Professor Odunlade said, I'm a Shakespeare, wọn máa kó yé mọ́tò tó mọ́ ní hàn wá, but iṣẹ́ náà fi hàn wá where he was doing his writing. If you go to Ladiipo's house today at Bodewasiri, there are many artifacts hidden that you don't get to see because they are not displayed. And we are all here sitting down majestically, not knowing that we have a duty on our hand. What are we going to do about Bodewasiri to become another tourist center in Oyo State, in Nigeria, in the world? What are we going to do about that? So, if today will be the day that all of us will say, this is the role I want to play to ensure that Ladiipo is a living, that Ladiipo legacy does not die naturally. Mama, ẹgbẹ́láyé, ẹgbùlẹ́yìn, ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ́láyé nínú ìyá o. Gbogbo àwọn tọ́lọ̀ fún Yomi, àbúrò mi Ṣọlá, Wọlé is in America, carry the flag of Yoruba culture. 18 years ago, Wọlé was living in Dallas. He initiated what he called Yoruba Cultural Exchange Program. And I was one of the first pioneers who received the award of that in Dallas, Texas. Now he lives in Chicago. And in Chicago, he continued what he started in Dallas. Okay, thank you. 2 more minutes. Okay, no problem. He said what he started in Dallas, he continued in Chicago, Yoruba Cultural Exchange. Oloye Lekan Alabi that was earlier recognized has been to this festival. So, like father, like son, there's a book I want everybody to look for. It's called God is Not One. Say,
God is not one.
It was written by Cyril Protero. And what is the book all about? It's all about talking about the 8 established religion that rule the world today. And the purpose of what each religion stands for. So when we say God is not one, it's a very deceptive title. But what he's trying to say is that all of these religions have their important role they play. Islam is about total submission to the will of Allah, right? Christianity is about sin and seeking atonement for your sin so you can have eternity. Yoruba is about energy. That's what Yoruba. So one of the 8 most established religions today in the world, Yoruba religion is one of them. So you should, yes, Yoruba religion is one of them, and they're talking about way of energy and connection. My brother mentioned Ladiipo is the Ṣàngó personified, connected with the Ṣàngó that was in Oyo. The Ṣàngó in Oyo was connected to the deity. So connection, energy. So all of our religion today, okay, we may not even want to call it religion, let's call it culture. Ṣàngó is all about energy. So who says, where does electricity come from? Ogun is about iron. Who discovered iron? So that's professionality. Ọ̀ṣun is about producing, it's about prosperity, and so on and so forth. So our culture It's not idolatry. It's not dormant at all. Our culture is connected to the essence of the world. Is what our culture is all about. That's what our culture is all about. So, because I've been asked to get out of this podium before they come back, say, hey, go. So I want to say that today we are celebrating Shango, and we are celebrating an individual who took Shango energy, who Shango entered into him, and he lived a life of an exemplary. Let me quickly share this story. There was a time when the British Council here in Ibadan, they were having an art opening, and so they were carrying food round, snacks. And Ladiipo was there. I was there that day. So Baba took one of the snacks and ate it, and went looking for his wife, Mama. So when Mama came, Baba held on to the guy carrying the food round. Oh yeah, Mother. That's a way of showing love to his wife. And we understand that Shango started planting it here as a way of giving support, love to his wife. So that's the reason behind hair planting for men. Thank you very much. My name is